Hello everybody. We've been in our new home for just about 2 years now, and this is a door which leads from our guest room to the pool. This door is used very infrequently, and lately this door sensor here is tripping. So I've removed the magnetic switch from the door frame and I have it exposed here right now. This thing has been tripping at all hours of the night. And that's obvious because you arm your system at night, so that's when the alarm is going to trip. But it's nuisance tripping at crazy times and for no apparent reason. There's obviously some settling going on perhaps in the house or some contraction of the door frames. We noticed that this problem just started as the weather has cooled down, and it's gotten quite cool in the evenings into the 30s. So perhaps there's some contraction going on, causing the air gap between the magnet and the switch to not function properly. But if you're trying to troubleshoot this similar issue, I'm going to walk you through the steps you can use to figure out whether it's a switch or whether it's wiring, or maybe it's magnet placement or distance. These magnetic switches for sensors and doors come in all shapes and sizes. Some popular configurations would be something like this one, which is a rectangular version. Both of these are recessed versions here. Some have what they call flying leads. Others have screw terminals. All these sensors are somewhat the same. Let's take a peek inside one of these. They all essentially have a reed switch inside. So what this is a set of contacts inside a piece of hermetically sealed glass. So the contacts are not subject to corrosion, humidity, and dirt and dust. Here's a super close-up view of the reed switch. That's a pencil point in the picture just for size reference. And the magnet opens and closes the contacts. The other thing to pay attention to is that the most common switches are marked NO, which stands for normally open, as opposed to NC, normally closed. Here are the normally open markings on these two different switches. You can see the NO. So both of these are NO. That's also NO. And the way to think about it is right now, those contacts are open. In order to comply with electrical component convention, normally open is the steady state condition when there's no magnet present. Even though in security applications, the magnet is normally there when the doors are closed and the contacts are in fact closed. One of the reasons for this is that if you have exposed wiring, for example, and you're using normally open contact here, if somebody were to cut that wire, so let's say the magnet's in place, somebody cuts that wire, that becomes an open circuit, trips the alarm. If you had the other way where you had a normally closed contact, and when the magnet approached, the contacts are open, if you cut those wires, the circuit is still open. This is somewhat of a convention to prevent tampering. So using normally open contact is what is the most popular configuration on security systems. You might have different sensors around your house. Here's one version. This is in the side of the door jamb. You might also have magnetic switches that look something like this. In any event, my troubleshooting tips should apply for these magnetic type switches where you have a switch, either surface mounted or embedded in the frame, and a magnet to activate it. So, once you know which door or window is causing the nuisance tripping, these are the troubleshooting steps I recommend. Let's start with the easiest first and then go to the hardest. So go to your alarm panel and just make sure you don't have any loose wires, especially on the circuit in question. So whatever that door circuit is or that window circuit is, just make sure that the wires at this terminal strip are all tight and in their correct positions. The next thing you're going to want to do is to check and see if the magnet alignment, so in my case I'm looking at the top of this door, and that's the magnet, whether the magnet is aligned with the switch itself. In my case, the magnet was off by more than a 1/4 inch. Now I originally thought that that 1/4 inch should not be enough to make a difference, but apparently it is. The first solution I tried was the easy way out. I used a stronger magnet. So this one is about maybe 3/4 of an inch long. I happen to have had a longer one and a stronger one. So I inserted that. That seemed to work for a day or two, but it's still on the fringe. So the next solution was to putty the hole up, the original hole, with either wood putty. I used epoxy in my case, and then re-drilled a new hole in the correct location. So my magnet goes there. That's the new location. As I said, the original one was misaligned by at least 1/4 inch, but I didn't think that would have mattered that much. Here's the original magnet on the left. Here's a longer magnet I had on the right. And I was hoping that the longer, stronger magnet would tolerate the misalignment a little better. It did not. I imagine the magnetic field strength going in this direction is stronger, but the width is probably not much different. So, although that would have been the easiest solution, stronger magnet, it did not solve my problem. The last step is to determine whether the magnetic switch is faulty or whether your wiring is faulty. So, what I use is a small pick tool like this, and these magnets are interference fit, press fit, and I just use a pick to pull the switch out. You might also want to use a very fine screwdriver and pry under the mounting flange to get the switch out. In my case, the switch has flying leads with a screw termination. Yours may be just spliced or crimp connected further up the wire here. So the best way to determine whether it's your wiring is to, in my case, unscrew these two wires, strip them, and then twist them together so you have a short. That short simulates a closed contact when the magnet is in position. So remember, these are normally open switches. When you put the magnet in front of it, the contacts close. So just shorting those two wires together simulates a closed condition. So after you've shorted those wires, go ahead and arm your system. Your system should arm, and if it does, that means your wiring is okay. Leave your system on overnight, see if it trips. You don't have to have a sensor here, just have the two wires shorted, assuming you have a normally open magnetic switch. And if you don't get any false triggering at night, you now know the wiring's good and that it's your magnetic switch that's bad. Here's one way to test your system. What I have here is my switch, then I have the magnet taped with this blue painter's tape. And I've let it sit in the evening just to make sure that the magnet and the switch are okay and that this is strictly an air gap or alignment issue. And so far we've gone almost a week with no issues. So I know that the switch is good, I know that the magnet's good, and the wiring's good. So now it's just a matter of making sure that those things are oriented properly. As an aside, it's interesting that a magnetic switch was used on this door. All the other doors in the house have the switches located in the door jamb rather than magnetic. They're mechanical switches. But there's no way to get a wire down this jamb because this is a double split French door with center hinge. So there was no way for the installer to get a wire out of the header and all the way down the center. So my system is now fixed. I did replace the switch and I repositioned the magnet. I'm not really sure which was the major culprit, but the system seems to be working very reliably right now. I do know those magnetic switches can fail. I've had a couple of fail, normally from high use. So after 20 years of operation on a door between the kitchen and the garage, that switch ultimately failed. And also when I had a nearby lightning strike in our yard, we did have a couple of magnetic door sensors fail as well. But they're, in general, quite reliable. Had this been a wiring issue, so shorting the wires out and having the system still trip, what I probably would have done is put a wireless sensor here on this door just to maintain the integrity of my security system. But that would have been a relatively simple solution. I do have some wireless transmitters for remote heat and a couple of other functions. So I could have easily put a wireless remote door or window sensor right here that's compatible with my security system. So if you found this video helpful or informative, please give me a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.